Go ahead. Make my day.
Hey, Rydog, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Having a good Friday so far, but obviously not Good Friday because that's already happened. Dear. And yeah, hope everything is going well. Dear. I was going to do Solasta, but I kind of didn't want to ruin it by taking the music out of Solasta because I kind of like the Solasta music. Dear. Little bit disappointed you can only get level 4 in early access, but hey, it's early access. What you can do, right? Celebration of Life is this weekend, so weird busy. Gotcha. Well, I hope that all goes well. Kind of difficult to know what words to use at times, but yeah, I hope that all goes according to plan at least. Oh dear. And yeah, those things are busy. I can't remember if you said if you're doing it at home, if you're having it somewhere else. Hopefully somewhere else, because that tends to make it a little bit easier, but dear. Well, that answers one of my questions about whether you're free this Sunday. I'm going to guess not. But yes, it has been a week. I don't know, in a week of weeks, this has definitely been a week. Mrs. Dry Dog's been busting her ass. Is anyone doing anything for it seems? Dear. That is... had to have it at a hotel ballroom. I mean, like I said, I think that's good. So, you don't have to worry about all of the setup and all of the cleanup, and kind of when you're done and exhausted, you can kind of just go home and relax, right? You won't really be around until May, going back to the mountains. Gotcha. Oh dear. Oh dear. And why not, right? Why not? Hey, Serenity. How's it going? I'm wearing the baseball cap because I've had my headphones on way too long this morning, and they were really starting to hurt the top of my head. I really need to invest in a pair of in-ears at some point, but I also got reminded at just how boring video editing is. At least the way I do it. No fancy graphics for me. I think what I didn't realize, so I've kind of starting to train myself out of saying a lot again, which I definitely got back into because I kind of stopped doing this kind of video stuff. But what I found funny while watching, I mean, one, it's horrible editing yourself anyway. You got to watch yourself, you got to listen to yourself, and it's just kind of like, no, why would I do this? As an but yeah, just kind of going through, I tend to leave the weirdest dramatic pauses in sentences, and I do not know why. I don't know if it's just because my brain is really slow these days, and it's kind of like it's got like a very small like buffer or cache. So it's kind of like, yeah, you can have about 20 words, but then the brain's going to have to compute again, and there's going to be a little bit of lag. And I never know when I'm editing these things. It's like, well, do I take these pauses out? Do I leave them in? And I've started taking them out. And it's just weird, like when you're looking at the camera, just like suddenly just see me kind of move. It's like this is just kind of moving all around because I've just taken like 5 seconds of dramatic pause out of a sentence. It turns out I'm very active when I do my dramatic pause, though. Like I don't just kind of stand there pondering existence. You blame Walken and Shatner? But yes, I don't know where that comes from.
Oh, you are a
ALP.
bird.
He came in slapping. Has the off gases escaping? There's a lot of that. Luckily, they come out of a different hole. I mean, what? Who said what now? But yeah, I hope mods. I hope everyone is doing well. So many slaps this morning. It's been that kind of day. Sometimes you just want to go into a shop and slap a bitch, right? Typically, I'm using the term bitch there to include all genders, just people who are being bitches. You usually have to pay extra. That's true. You normally do have to pay extra. That's true. I mean, not that I would know. I don't know what you're talking about, LP. That sounds disgusting. How awful. I have no idea what I was going to talk about today. As per usual, I just kind of didn't want to. I wasn't in the mood to do anything else. Like it's been a tough week. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the mornings before I streamed, and I've definitely brought that bad energy into stream, which I do not like doing. Like, I really don't. But just some of the things that have happened this week has kind of been unavoidable, and I've been trying to like do the best not to let it affect me, but there are just times where you just have to realize that it's going down, and you just have to play along with it. But I was going to say I'm kind of hoping that that's over, but I think next week's probably going to be a little bit of the same, sadly. But after that, hopefully we can go back to the status quo. And yeah, like I was going to play Solasta, but I didn't want to turn the Solasta music off. Not that I don't know if anyone watches the VODs or whatever, but I kind of like the Solasta music. So now we'll just have to wait for that epic conclusion to that fight for another day. Well, quite a few days, because I don't stream tomorrow. I don't know if we're streaming on Sunday. I don't know if LP is available or not. That's my subtle way of asking LP if he's free or not. Because yeah, I wouldn't mind. And Monday will be Overwatch. That's Serenity's around. Sunday might be Overwatch. Ah, dear. Oh dear. Overwatch is just that really easy fallback game, like where I just don't have to think about. Like I do not. Part of it was I was in a bad mood when I started. Hey, cheers for the right dog. Like part of it was definitely I was in a bad mood when I started up last Epoch. But yeah, I do not remember that game being so fucking brutal, like at all. I'm gonna have to go back in and see if I can remember how to play it, I guess. But Jesus Christ, that game was kicking my ass. And I was not in the mood for it. Just not in the mood. It is rough solo. Some classes are better than others. Yeah, I mean, so apparently the Rogue did have a couple of new abilities. I don't know if I ever saw them. But like that character was way too weak. And like, there's nothing I could have done to try and make it better, right? I was where I was. It was the very early game. I couldn't go back and grind for loot or grind for levels. Like, it was where it was meant to be, and it was kicking my fucking ass. And not in a fun way. So yeah, I think I believe the next update to Last Epoch is an expansion with a new class. I can't remember if they're charging for it now, because they said when they launched Last Epoch that all content would be free. Then they got brought up by Crafton, and then they changed their mind. And I honestly can't remember what you have to pay for and what you don't anymore. If it's a paid for expansion, I probably won't touch it, honestly. Unless they come with like a lot of, because I think they really need to address the early game and how you can level up characters in the season. Like if they're going to do a live action game with a seasonal loop, forcing you to go through the story every time is not a fun way to level, in my opinion. So I really think they need to address that. But at the same time, I know that the end game loop isn't particularly good in Last Epoch either, and stalling people until they get there is probably a good design choice. So they probably need to fix that. Now, I believe they may have done something to the end game loop at this time. Maybe if I go into Last Epoch in a better mood, we may see it. Or, you know, we may not. I don't know. But yeah, like, one, Last Epoch's development cycle is very slow, right? And I feel like it's been one of the things I have enjoyed about their seasonal content is that it's not just one and done in the season. Like they do pretty much everything that happened in the previous season can still happen in the next season, which is nice. It's not like Diablo 4 where they do like this one-time like power grab mechanic and then it's done. So I've kind of enjoyed that in Last Epoch. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I really think they need to put a lot of development towards. And I don't know how likely that is. Like, Crafton seems to be going downhill. I mean, when you consider PUBG was their pinnacle, and oh my God, they're throwing everything at PUBG right now. There is now a PvE mode in PUBG. It's bare bones. It's not that bad. Surprisingly not that bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Dear. But yes, and of course AI is going AI first. So, did I just say AI is going AI first, or did I say Crafton is going AI first? I actually don't know what I said in that sentence. What I meant is Crafton is going AI first. And God knows what that means, because dear. That's because AI is taking over everything, even my brain. Apparently, honestly, if it wants to take over my brain, that would probably just help. I can just become one of the zombie masses. Oh, wait, is that why there's a big push for AI and the brain implants? Just replace your brain with Grok. Oh, my God. How awful would that be? Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I know a lot of people at the moment are like reading old dystopian sci-fi and going, yep, that's what we should do. Let's think of the bad ideas and actually leave them in the bad idea column. And let's not do that, rather than we should aim towards this. Hey, Trunks, how's it going? Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Speaking of, I was reading somewhere, I don't know where, apparently the UK Ministry of Defence is like getting sci-fi writers in so they could try to work out what's likely to happen in the future. And I just find that hilarious. We are now, the UK is basing their defense strategy on bloody fever dreams that sci-fi authors are coming up with. Let's pray to hell they never come and ask me what we think what they think we need to defend against. Well, Avril Lavigne is your number one threat, obviously. Although, part of me would love to see, in like 5 years' time, the big reveal, like the Ministry of Defence, we've spent billions of pounds And here we have the Avril Lavigne deterrent. I don't know what it would be. Obviously, it's up to the eggheads at the Ministry of Defense to work out how to protect against Avril Lavigne, but I'm interested to see what they would come up with. Interested to see what they would come up with. With a llama cannon? I mean, I think if we can work AI and a drone into the llama cannon, we've probably got a product we could sell to a defense company. Those seem to be the two like key buzzwords right now. So, you know, there's a chance. There's always a chance. Oh, dear. What else should we defend against? I don't know. Maybe something owned by my... Oh, God. I am dreading to see... I don't know. You requested it. Oh, dear. It skipped. It takes a while. Nightbot sadly isn't AI yet, so it works quite slowly. Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to seeing, because SpaceX is about to go public, or they're working towards taking SpaceX public, and I fear the valuation of that company, because it's going to be way too high. And although I don't know how much money there is going around at the moment, because everyone dumped it into AI and no one's getting return on their investments, and everyone's starting to feel a little bit worried about AI, and it's about fucking time. Maybe at some point I'll be able to buy a graphics card, because, you know, they won't all be in fucking AI machines. When that, actually, having said that, I did look at them, not that I could afford them, I got like zero cash, but they have come down in price. As has RAM, which is quite nice. I don't know why I often look at these things. Like, I don't do anything with this knowledge. It's just knowledge I have. Useless knowledge. Didn't Google announce something about making AI easier? I believe it's their AI takes up less RAM. Google honestly has kind of, I think, taken the lead in AI, which makes a lot of sense because they were very quiet about what the AI could do, and they've just been trying to improve it rather than trying to milk it for cash. Now, I can't remember what the liability laws... liability, that's not even what I mean. Libel laws are like. So I won't mention Sam Altman by name, but the guy's a crook. And all he cares about is money. And I think we're starting to see that. And I'm sure OpenAI will survive, but I think it will probably be the first big one to kind of falter. God, I hope so. I can't wait till people get realistic about what AI is, like AI at the moment, what it is and what it can do, because it's a useful tool, but that's all it is. It's a tool. Great for giving you an excuse to lay off people at the end of year, so you can pay yourself a big bonus and then probably rehire most of them. But you know, that's fine. That's just how business works. Yay, capitalism. Yeah, LP, are you around on Sunday? Serenity's going to be around on Sunday. So we can do some Overwatch. I don't know if Cake Ball is quite ready for the third play yet, and I don't know if Serenity is ready for the roughness that is us trying to play a game of Cake Ball right now. I like where Cake Ball is going. I think it's improving, but my God, is it rough around the edges. But you see, I can admit it. Cake Ball will one day take over the world, but it's not ready yet. Saw something about there's a new model that would break OS browser security super easy, and they put it in a closed environment and it escaped. So instead of keeping it locked down, they gave it to Amazon, etc., to make sure they get security issues fixed. I don't know if you're mixing two stories up there. Like the only thing that would really break, I mean, maybe OS browser security, but like the one thing that would really break security is quantum computing, and I don't think they've done. Oh, that's Claude. Because yeah, as soon as it can get quantum computing working, then all of the security measures that we use now are pointless, absolutely meaningless. Everything would have to be secured by quantum computers. Well, I think it's one of those things, right? If it's already out there and your bad actors have got it, the only way you can try to counter it is to give it to everybody else so they can fight against it, right? And nobody wins if suddenly everybody's bank account is drained. It was Anthropic who said they had a new model that was too dangerous because it could poke holes into the security of the web. I mean, AI is already, probably for different reasons, like AI is already making the web less secure because the amount of people who are putting apps out that have absolutely no security in them whatsoever is fucking ridiculous, right? Like I was reading, so again, something I know very little about. I've just been reading about it. So a lot of people will do like an AI thing that kind of uses, because I think if you're using like online AI, you mostly get tokens and you have a certain amount of tokens you can spend or you can buy more, whatever, and they charge you for said tokens. So a lot of people are putting up AI projects on GitHub with the APIs completely open. So, and then other people are just kind of scraping GitHub to see if they can find any of these API keys and are just spending other people's tokens. You reviewed some AI code. It's not the hotness people are saying it is. The trouble is, like I say, it is a great tool, right? I honestly think AI as a teaching tool, it could be a very big thing. Honestly, I like it replaces I'll randomly Google search for somebody else's way of doing it and I'll just have AI teach me how to do it, right? It's also good and great for people who couldn't do this stuff before, right? Like I largely play with AI for image generation. Like if I'm designing a character and I have an idea what it looks like in my head and I just kind of want to get it out into more visual form, I can't draw to save my life. So that's kind of trying to get something out artistically, like in that way, in the kind of drawing medium, is just something I cannot do. So using AI models to do that is interesting to me, right? I have used AI because I've been trying to teach myself Godot, and I have used AI a couple of times just to, I'm trying to work on a problem and I kind of throw in the issue and see if it will throw back the answer. I'll be honest. So I only use local hosted stuff. I don't use any of the new hotness that you have to pay for. And the local hosted stuff is like 2-3 years behind the modern GPT and all that kind of stuff. So far, it has not given me any answer that has been worth the time. It has never solved any of my problems when it comes to that kind of coding stuff. And I've just had to go back to Google and kind of search for it and kind of go, all right, I get it now. If you have an established framework and force it to work in the bounds, it's not terrible, but you still need to keep a leash on it. Yeah, and I think that's the important thing. Like, but again, if you're developing an AI app, one, you don't have to have any point for the AI. Like, I think the people who are using AI properly are the ones who are just like, you're never going to hear, right? Because I was talking to a friend, because I've been talking for a while that AI could easily replace the need for compliance officers, right? Compliance is something that you follow a framework for to decide how it's going to go, and then you get a final review by a bunch of people, right? AI could replace all of those, right? If you tell it, make the system and just give it back to me, you'll get something that appears to work. But this is the other thing I've noticed about when I've tried to use AI to do things. Like you can put in, make me a fully working system, and then you review the code and it will go, this is just an example. In the working system, you'd have to do something much more complicated. Yeah, can you do that for me? Nah, I ain't doing that. But again, I'm using models which are like 2-3 years out of date at this stage. Although I do believe, I don't think AI will really take off until you can host it locally. I don't think people want to go back to cloud hosted nonsense. Maybe they do. I don't know. But you know, local stuff I think is the way to go, and using it in like small, very small bursts. Because I know in the what do they call those people who like control their entire house by digital means? Well, you know what I mean. Like, you know, like Philips Hue was a big thing in it, so you can control your lights from your phone and all that kind of stuff. Cloud hosted nonsense is so expensive. Local hosting with the only way it survives. Smart housing, yes. So obviously a lot of that went out to the cloud, which is when I stopped being interested in smart home stuff, because it's like, no, I'm not putting anything. Like if I've got a camera in my room, that footage ain't going on the internet ever, right? I didn't even do anything which is gonna like appall people, but still, I've got my privacy concerns, right? But it's starting to come back to local stuff, which makes a lot of sense, and a lot of people are starting to use local hosted AI to kind of automate some of the stuff that can be done, right? And that kind of makes a little bit of sense, right? You're watching me? Yes, but only when I say you can. And if you're watching me anymore, you should probably be paying me for it. I'm not against going full Truman Show, but that's a lie. I'm very against going full Truman Show. I would hate to have my life on display 24/7. Good God. I honestly don't know what amount of money I would need to get over that. And yeah, like I say, I can kind of, I so wish I got a clip of the kickback eating chips part of that stream. Oh dear, that was a funny moment. God, I was so young back then. Young and naive. I didn't know how. Raiding, that's what it's. I haven't done it in such a long time. I even forgot what the practice was called. I forgot. I didn't know how raiding worked. Oh dear. But yes. Yeah, like I said, I think AI in very small doses, at the level it works at the moment, is very useful. And I can see why people want to use it as a tool. I can see why people in the video game industry want to use it as a tool. But yeah, it should never replace anybody. Apart from compliance officers, because they suck. He says, and you know, the last few years when he was in the finance industry, he was a compliance officer. It's fine. Don't worry about it. That's why I know the enemy, because I once was one. But no, like I say, I'm happy with the way Cakeball is going. I think we're almost at the stage where the kind of groundwork is ready to then start building up different players' abilities, which that's when I think the real fun of the game is going to start to shine through. But if it's still fun to play without any of the flashy stuff, then I think we've got a good foundation to build on. I don't know what I'm going to do with it and where I'm going to take it, but I like the direction of travel, so that's good. What else was I talking about? I have no idea. I was mainly just moaning about stuff. That's kind of what this stream is probably going to be, just me moaning about things. What else can we moan about, chat? I mean, there's the obvious target. We could moan about the art of the deal, peacemaker in chief. But let's not talk about that. Because honestly, that's just, he's going to kill us all. But it's getting boring now. So let's just not talk about that. But what else is there? The weather's not the nicest today. It's still warm, but it's cloudy, so it's kind of like, to me, that's like the worst of both worlds. If it's going to be warm, at least be sunny, right? So you can go out and enjoy it. What else have I been doing this week? Well, I mean, the morning has been just spent doing stuff, horrible stuff. What is funny? So the nephew is over for the Easter holiday, and it's like there's this switch that goes off in the family. They just suddenly they're so nice. It makes my skin crawl, but it also makes me laugh. Dear. I am carrying on with the city story. I realized I probably should have given it a different name because it's so easy to accidentally say that it's a shitty story, which is probably true, but that's not what I was going for. I have continued that. I think the latest part that went out was the paladins fighting the army and a big cheers for the Serenity and a big shadow creature. Not the strongest part so far. But I do kind of like where that is going, and I like the story that is developing from that. I do need to stop working on that, though, because I'm also editing Annabelle 2, and at times I'm mixing the two up in my head when I'm working on both of them. So I do kind of need to finish off. I think there's 2 more parts of City Story probably left. And then that's kind of done. Like, it is designed to kind of set up a much bigger story, but I think the kind of like the attack on the city is almost done. I'm trying to think what is left to do. We have to reveal who saved Captain Morris. The paladins have to get to the inner gate, and then we have to reveal the mystery of the inner gate. Okay, so 3 parts. There's probably 3 parts left. But I am enjoying it. I still find it quite funny that the only person I think I've named in the entire story so far is Captain Morris. Oh no, one of his underlings also got a name, but the main characters, maybe the captain who died also got a name. I honestly can't remember, but like the paladin doesn't have a name, the god doesn't have a name. The city doesn't have a name. Like, it came out of March Madness. It was meant to just be like a one-time thing, so I just didn't name anything. And now I'm kind of working on it. It's kind of like, I probably should have given these people names. The amount of times I kind of writing it, and I kind of like, and then he did this and she did this. I was like, is it clear which person I'm talking about? Because I didn't name a lot of them. So I can't really refer to them in any other way, but I think it's okay so far. But yeah, that's over on Patreon for anyone who wants to read. It's all out for free. Anybody who wants to read it. Like I say, it did start from March Madness. So it's a little bit rough, and there is no editing involved. I write it and I put it out. I'm still kind of keeping the March Madness mentality as I write it. I have been reading it back. There are things I would do different. Like I said, the last part I think is probably the weakest one I've done so far. And I think in reality, it needed more time. Like, I think the battle against the shadow monster probably should have been 1,000 words in and of itself. And I do need to start writing more action scenes, because if there's one thing I'm not particularly good at, it's writing action. So I do need to start trying to write just long action and fight scenes, because Annabelle 2, which I'm editing, doesn't start very action heavy, but it does end quite action heavy. So I know I'm getting there, and I kind of need to be more practiced at action so I can edit what I know are some really bad scenes coming up towards the end. Oh dear. But yeah, once I can get City Story done, I then want to work on. It was interesting playing Celeste yesterday, because part of me has been like thinking to myself, I really want to make just like a hex crawler RPG type game. And that's kind of what Celeste 2 is when you're not doing the main missions, right? You're just wandering around, things pop up, and you kind of grab them and you kind of react. And this is nothing against Celeste 2, but what it told me is that actually, no, I probably don't want to do that. A little bit of that, but not so much of the kind of wandering around kind of stuff. Also, and this probably is a little bit against Celeste 2, some of the writing on the random events is not the best. I mean, I'm not the world's best writer. I fully understand that, but some of them seem particularly bad. But then, so then I was going through, like, do I kind of want to do, going back to kind of like a game that I would kind of like to make, like, what is it I would want it to do? And I keep on going back to the Fallout settlement mode on the board game, because that was a lot of fun, right? So obviously it's very action heavy. It's very XCOM-y in a way, right? So you're building up your base, you're going out and having fights. Based on how well you do in your fight, you come back, you build up your base, you go out and do another fight. I kind of want to do something like that, but with a little bit more story and kind of random events in there as well. I don't know how that would work. We did do a stream. There was a game with my wish list like that. Probably, I need to go through my wish list at some point, because some of the games I wish listed may have come out now. It's probably been about a year. Because yeah, I do like that idea. Yeah, Wild Heart is definitely one of the games I was waiting for. I didn't know it would come out, actually. So yeah, I need to go and look at that again, because I do like games like that. Like, it's like Wildermyth kind of had the same idea, the kind of the wandering and stuff, but there's no settlement side. I like the idea of the settlement side. I like the idea of expanding the settlement side to include more stuff, like having farms in there to get your materials and being able to craft when you're back there, kind of power yourself up, kind of going for like I guess in many ways a kind of roguelike version of XCOM, right? Which is a game which must exist somewhere. I may have even played it. I feel like I may have played a game like this. Still coming to early access soon. I think the game I'm most looking forward to, and I honestly think I'm going to have to try and get a new graphics card before this one comes out. Well, one, Forza Horizon 6, but that comes out next month, but there's no way I'm getting a new graphics card before then. We'll just see what the old graphics card can do with it. But it's the new Control game. If the combat is anywhere near as good and aggressive as they're saying it is, it's a game I really want to play. I miss attack-heavy action games. They all became Souls-like. They all became about dodging and blocking, and which is fine for, in moderation. But all of the attack-heavy games just kind of disappeared when Dark Souls came out, or whatever was before Dark Souls. Dark Souls was one that really kicked it off, but I think there was one before it. Demon Souls? But yeah, if they've really got the kind of attack combo heavy gameplay right, I'm really looking forward to that. I've missed those kind of games. I don't want to be blocking and defending and dodging. I want to be hitting somebody with a big stick. That's how I want to play. Yeah, the thing that's been, so I've been trying to come up with events for any kind of game that like I may put forward, because I do like the idea of random events. Like, even if I go back to the idea of a card game, I like the random events there as well. So like I've been trying to come up with how to do random events, and the thing that has been annoying me most is, so you can obviously have like fairly simple events, and you can have like resolved on dice rolls or just multiple choice, whatever it's going to be, right? What I've realized is that I quite like having events that kind of branch out from each other, and possibly based on what you do in one event might then include another event, which wouldn't be accessible until you've done that event. Writing them in many ways is the easy part. Trying to think about how I would then do this in any kind of system. Like, I have basically been writing them like a wiki at the moment. So, or in many ways, like a choose your own adventure. So kind of like, depending on where you go, it can take you this way, or if you do that way, it's going to take you that way. Which has been kind of interesting. But what I've realized is, like, I was thinking to myself, I kind of want to get 5 events written a day. I think I spent 2 hours yesterday just doing one, because of all the branches that it would suddenly come out with, and then kind of all like the sub events that would come out from that. And I kind of like, yeah, I might be going too crazy on this. Like, some of them have got to be simple, right? So yeah, I've been working on that in the background as well. Oh dear. I feel like this song might be about chunks. Oh, I Am Jesus Christ is doing quite well. If anybody's looking for a new game, just happened to open up my Steam, like my Steam is, oh, okay. Still got my eye on Slay the Spire 2. It does look good. Hopefully be able to pick that up towards the end of the month, because I do want to give that a go. Waiting for a few more updates. You're not a lift operator, you inspect. Dear. Star Rupture is on sale. Star Rupture is a game that seemed really boring in the demo I played. And we've got too many games like that I've got to finish satisfactory. I haven't tried Alchemy Factory yet, which we've had on the list for a while. It is boring. It felt boring when I played the demo, and you actually got that one and couldn't play much of it. The Adventure Time pack is out for Power Wash Simulator 2, which is interesting. Oh, Soul Mask has finally come out in version 1. I might look at that again. See now that it's kind of version 1, if it's worth picking up. Frostpunk 2 is on sale. We never finished Frostpunk because it was too fucking difficult. Bloody kids not wanting to work and then dying because they were hungry. Crybabies. Oh dear. Stupid worker kids. I know, right? No, Farming Simulator 25 is on sale. That would have to be a lot cheaper if I picked it up, because I don't do a lot of farming in it. I just muck around, and it has to be a reasonable price to muck around in it. Rub some dirt on that wound, right? I have no idea what Grandver is. It looks like some kind of mech fighting game. It's on my wish list. Whisper Mountain Outbreak, I also do not recognize at all. It's on my wish list. There's a lot of stuff on my wish list that I really, really do not remember. What's Elemental Reforged? What was Elemental? Reforged normally means remake these days. Dear. Oh yeah, I did put in Discord, like there's rumors going around that the GTA 6 campaign could be co-op. Like I said, I doubt it's going to be enough to make me want to play it, because I'm in the minority, but I found GTA 4 and GTA 5 relatively boring. So I can't see that that's going to make GTA 6 seem particularly interesting to me. But if you can do the whole campaign co-op, it would definitely be a tick in the plus column for me. Planetcraft has released a fairly big patch. I think they've done like a version 2. But again, I need to get Satisfactory out of the way, and we haven't played that now for what, 2 weeks? I'm not going to remember what the fuck we were doing when we get back to that. It's either that or we wait until 1.2 comes out and then just commit to it. No nice looking stuff, just pure speed. Try and get it done. Oh dear. Wow, some of these games have been on my wish list for years and they're still not out. Oh dear. I can make nice looking stuff. I do find it strange. I've been watching more people play Satisfactory, and like people do start to make nice stuff, in my opinion, way too early on. But I can understand why they do it, because if you don't do it when you're building the factory, you're not going to go back and do it, right? Oh dear. Clearly, I went through a stage of adding spaceship games to my wish list. None of them have come out yet. Subnautica 2 will be coming out soon. I don't know if I'll pick it up after all that brouhaha over it. The Spotter Dig or Die was something I thought you might like. Because it had dig in the title, or because you think I might actually like it? I'll have a look. I wonder which of the train-based survival games will come out first. Because again, being able to build your base on a train and move it around sounds incredibly interesting to me. And if they can capture even a little bit of Raft, I can see that being a game I'd put a lot of time in. Oh wait, Wild Heart wasn't the game I thought it was. This is one I added quite recently. But yeah, this does look quite good. All right. Spotter Dig or Die. Dig by day, fight by night in this blend of mining and tower defense. As the last spotter at a ruined gas station, hold back mutant hordes, scavenge the wasteland, and repair your receiver to capture the president's vital message and humanity's last hope. If it was multiplayer, probably. Because this is going back to what Fortnite was originally meant to be. And I like the idea of that kind of gameplay loop. Not so sure if I would like it single player. It does look interesting, though. Again, it's kind of like settlement building and then having to use it. You may have just not paid well enough attention, but you swear I get an advertisement for Raft on mobile? That would be interesting. The president's last message would be, I'm great, everyone else sucks. No, the president's last message would be, just before the world ends, or like America gets nuked to extinction, is, well, we definitely won, so I don't know what you're complaining about. ATS for the lurk, LP. Little bit of crab rave. You having a meeting with the president? Slap him. Ah, dear. For the love of God. All right, not a lot on my Steam wish list that I would probably go crazy for. Oh no, have they broken PUBG again? They've done a lot of updates to PUBG. I'm going to assume most of them are around the new game mode they're trying to push, which again, I said, it's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. But yeah, it's definitely been an interesting week. I'm glad it's over. Take a day off tomorrow. It's kind of relax and gather my thoughts, which would be quite nice. I don't know what the weather's meant to be like. I would quite like to get outside and do some work. I do like working outside. A little bit of fresh air. Don't want to be stuck in the shed all the time. Most of the time, but not all the time. All right. Have I already run out of things to talk about? Probably. I was going to see what Dragonkin was like at one point, wasn't I? Do 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 do. A little bit of rock lobster, can't go wrong. Not a big fan of eating lobster. I'm not a huge shellfish person. Which is a shame, because if I was where I live, I could probably eat like a king for free, but I'm not, and I don't. New Overwatch hero is out. It can't be next week. It must be the week after. Oh, it might be next week, actually, if they patch on a Thursday. From what I've seen, I don't know if they've done the full powers breakdown, but I know they did the release video. From what I've seen, they don't look particularly interesting. They look like a mix between Soldier 76 and Widowmaker, which is kind of what Sojourn was, but it's fine, probably. Keep on doing the same stuff. One of them will work. I say one of them works. Sojourn is fucking strong right now. Yeah, I think I've seen anything else particularly. I'm not watching a lot of stuff at the moment. I do still plan on doing a Sliders rewatch. Haven't started it yet. Haven't really had the time. I might try and do like the first episode this weekend. I'm not entirely sure what format I want to do because I've been looking. I was looking on YouTube to see what people do for these kind of rewatch things, and obviously there's the podcast format where people just kind of talk about it and this kind of thing. But then there's the one way that you literally just watch people rewatching, like watching bits of it and reacting. And I do not understand why people like that type of content. I watched one the other day. It was because there seems to be a big one about like culture shock. So it's like, you know, American watches British comedy for the first time, and other things like that, and how outrageous people find British comedy for some reason. And it was people reacting to the four Ronnies. No, it's not the four Ronnies 2 candles sketch. It's the 2 Ronnies 4 candles sketch, and which I think as a kind of written sketch is probably still one of the funniest that's out there. From it's all about mishearing words and misunderstanding what people are saying. It's 2 straight comedians, and I don't mean that in a sexual orientation way. 2 straight man comedians for that particular sketch playing against each other, and all of the comedy comes from the words and the misunderstanding, and it's a great sketch. And watching people not understand it was honestly, like, frankly, kind of annoying. I can understand it, but I don't know. And then but then you see like this React channel has got like 20 million views on the sketch, and then you go and see like the original version of the sketch has got like 5 views. It's kind of, oh my god, this world is doomed. Oh dear. Good sketch though. Doesn't have the absurdity that a lot of like I think the more popular Monty Python sketches have. Like they tend to end or even start in absurdity, and absurdity is in and of itself funny, right? I was going to say probably the most recent version of that was the Mighty Boosh, but the Mighty Boosh is probably like 20 years old by now as well, if not older. And really, for the Mighty Boosh, all of the comedy comes from the fact it's absurd, right? You do not understand what's going on, and that's where the funny comes from. Which I don't get me wrong, I enjoy that, and it's well written absurdity. You can't just go absurd, and well, you can just go absurd and make it funny possibly once, but to do it again and again and again, there's got to be some good writing behind it. And the Mighty Boosh, as with all comedy sketch shows, very hit and miss, right? And what hits for you might miss for somebody else, and vice versa. But absolutely absurd. I don't know where I was going with this train of thought. God, I should never be a train driver. Even though trains are on tracks, I would end up somewhere completely wrong if I was ever a train driver. We don't understand it. You were just meant to be going up to Manchester. How have you ended up in Paris, France? I don't know, but I did have to overtake a Eurostar. What do you mean overtake? This is trains. You can't overtake on tracks. Yes, that is possibly true. Possibly very true. Oh dear. I'm tempted to see if I can get to a shop over the weekend. See if I can find any more of those beef ribs, because those were gorgeous. I really want to put some more of those in the smoker. Because I think those are probably the best things I've put in the smoker so far. It were really, oh my god, more crab. No. This is crab rave, but there's also more to it. Okay. But yeah, What else we got? What else we got to talk about? My room is smelling very pepperminty again because apparently I have a condition where every time I buy a bottle of peppermint essential oils, I spill it all over the fucking place. That's twice it's happened now. And I'm starting to think I just can't be trusted with bottles of essential oils. Like, it's not like I spill things all the time, but the small bottles of essential oils, most of which come with like a cap, which is meant to be like very drip, drip, drip. So kind of hard to spill. I've got a knack. I've got a skill. It's not a useful skill in any way, but I have a skill in that I can spill those bottles. And yeah, it's very pepperminty in here. Luckily, I don't mind the smell. Wow, it would be weird if I brought myself a bottle of essential oil of a smell I didn't like, I guess. But yes, I don't know how I managed to do it. I really don't. Old man-itis strikes again, probably. I have been, so one of the interests, Jeff Kaplan, former Overwatch guy, former Blizzard guy, must have had an NDA for 5 years or however long it's been since he left Blizzard, because he's now going on the interview circuit and spilling all the tea, as people say these days. I would say beans. You spill the beans, but now you spill the tea. I'm going to stick with beans. I prefer spilling beans. And like some of the stuff that's coming out, it's just, I think what surprised me the most is that none of it is unexpected. Like it's kind of everything that you thought was happening with Blizzard is exactly what was happening with Blizzard. And it's interesting to hear it confirmed like that. Like, just, yeah, very much been enjoying and he's clearly in the I don't give a fuck about Blizzard stage, which is fantastic. So kind of hearing, because like Blizzard is one of those companies that is very secretive, right? Even when they're in their open stages, they're very secretive. So it's nice to kind of hear a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff. And just how kind of nasty Blizzard got for a while. But that's what happens when you're chasing the almighty dollar. Nothing else matters. Got to be about the money. Can't do fun games. Got to do games that'll make you cash. And quick cash. It's, God, I'm going all over the shop here. It's the main problem with streaming services and modern TV is that nothing is allowed time to percolate and find its own footing. If it's not an immediate success, it's considered a dud. And that just has never been true about so many things. Like, how many films have never found an audience when they're released to become a cult classic afterwards, right? It's something that happens. You find your audience. And so few things. I actually can't think of anything that's been on streaming. Like if season 1 hasn't been a knock it out of the park success, doesn't mean the series itself was good. It did well with the numbers. I can't think of one that's kind of just been allowed to go to kind of find its footing. And I kind of look back at kind of shows of the past and just how many would not make it in the current dynamic. Like Star Trek: The Next Generation never would have made it because season 1 of that is absolute garbage. You would have dropped it like a hot potato. Pretty much anything Star Wars wouldn't have made it. Like if the holiday special was the last thing you knew about Star Wars, that shit's gone. Although I quite like the holiday special just because of how bad it is. It is bad. If you ever get the chance to find a copy and watch it, I highly recommend it because it's as bad as people say it is. Still probably better than the prequels, but let's not start that argument. Definitely better than the sequels, but let's not start that argument either. What was I talking about before I went off on this weird tangent? I don't know. I did put up a video about Cakeball onto the YouTube channel. One of the YouTube channels. I think it was the Cakeyverse channel that I ended up on. And I was kind of... I recorded a video about Cakeball where I was just going through the rules and the patch notes. And I was like, well, this would be a nice short video. There's not a lot to say about this. And then I ended up recording a video that was an hour and a half long. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, why can't I just do short, right? So I kind of edited that video down to just going through the patch notes. It was like 15 minutes. And then I put it up on YouTube. And then I was watching it back. And like the first thing I say is, I'm going to do a video about the patch notes and the rules. And then it just ends after the patch notes. It's really abrupt. So I've been trying to go through and do the rules one and kind of cut it down into a more manageable size. And yeah, I do not like editing videos at all. It's not something I enjoy doing. I understand why almost every YouTuber, as soon as they start to do well, hire an editor. One, because there is a skill to editing, which most people do not have. It's always better to have... I say always. It's mostly always better to have multiple people view a piece of content before you put it out. Like, you're going to put your spin on it as the writer presenter, which is fine. But the editor's going to put their spin on it as well as editor. And having those kind of two things is good. One of the things that's happened over the, how long has YouTube been a thing now? Like 20 years? It's got to be something like that now. One of the things that's really happened with YouTube, because obviously YouTube started, it was just one man and his camera in a shed, right? And I still miss those days at YouTube. I kind of miss the very low quality homemade feel of the content. A lot of YouTube stuff now is very professionally produced. But one of the things that really shines through to me on YouTube is editors have started to get their own voice. Like, a lot of editors will now put cheeky little captions, or kind of like the editors now are part of the content themselves, which is, it's got to be more fun if you're editing the videos, being able to put your own personality in them a little bit. And it kind of goes off one of the things I love in comedy, which is the invisible comedy partner. I'm trying to think of someone who did this really well, but like they're talking to somebody off screen who is not there as part of the joke. I've always loved that kind of attitude, and I feel like the editors now on YouTube are kind of filling that role. Like they're off screen, you don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to react in the moment. Kind of having that feedback is kind of fun. But I do think there needs to be another YouTube start, which is just for the cheaply made content, right? And not the AI content. Oh my God, I'm so sick of adverts for Chair Tai Chi. Oh my God. I'm sure it works. I'm sure there's a benefit. I've never watched a full ad to know what the upsell is. Are they going to try and sell you a special chair? Do you have to pay 50 quid just to get a PDF which tells you exercises you could find out for free? I don't know. I kind of hope they're trying to sell you a special chair, which is like stupidly expensive. And then it turns out it's just some kind of awful IKEA dinner chair with like a really bad silver paint job. I don't know why silver. You'd have to pay more for the gold one. Because whenever you upsell, you always want to have two ways of upselling, right? The one that sounds appealing, the one you want people to buy, and the one that's stupidly expensive, which if they go for, great, but is there only to make the cheaper option look slightly better. That's market manipulation 101 right there. What else am I seeing YouTube ads wise? Yeah, like Chair Tai Chi is far and away the kind of number one. The 40-year-old whose brain is a mess. I'm seeing that a lot. And then I'm also seeing one. I really wish I'd paused it to take a screenshot of it, because it's of a they've clearly tried to make it look more like a mushroom, but it's clearly an angry penis without any skin shouting at you for wasting your life masturbating. And it's one of the weirdest adverts I've seen in a long time. Oh, dear. Oh, why are we busting moves? Oh, dear. But yes, YouTube is a weird place, man. Weird place. It's still, but I'm too old for TikTok and Instagram. I do not get those platforms at all. I do, like, we've lost a whole generation to scrolling through TikTok, and I do not understand why. I would get it if the content was any good, but it isn't. Although honestly, I'm trying to think, if TikTok had been around when I was a teenager, we probably would have been posting banal crap on it, and we probably would have enjoyed watching all the other banal crap on it. It must just be it must just be a thing. I don't know. Like, so the other big thing that's kind of taking off, more so in South Korea, I think, but they're trying to bring it over to the Western audience, is this idea of 2-minute soaps or 2-minute films. So, the idea is exactly like it sounds, right? So you kind of write and perform a 2-minute dramatic scene. And I've been watching some of the South Korean ones, obviously with subtitles. I don't understand Korean. And it's hilarious because if you've ever watched UK soaps to a certain degree, but more so American soaps, especially when I would have been watching them, which was like late 90s, early 2000s, like the cliffhanger moments in soaps were bizarre and kind of came out of nowhere. And every 2-minute episode is ending on a cliffhanger. And one of the funniest thing about most cliffhangers is they do not resolve themselves in any way, right? Most cliffhangers are a lie to get you to come back, right? I'm going to go back to the old black and white films, right? So like, or the serials kind of thing. So like you would have this scene, you got the mustachioed man twirling his mustache, because why else would you have a mustache if you're not going to twirl it? You've got the train coming along the train track, and you've got the damsel in distress tied to the train, right? And then the cliffhanger, it would look like the train was right on her, right? She's got like milliseconds to live. The train is right there. And then you come back the next week to watch the next one. And, actually, the train was miles away, and the hero had hours to rescue the damsel in distress. So, wasn't really a cliffhanger, was it? And that's kind of the thing with most cliffhangers, is like they don't actually exist, right? You hype up the tension, and then when you bring people back, the tension is gone. Something I've never liked about the cliffhanger approach of keeping people's attention. Like, if you're going to do a cliffhanger, when you come back in the next episode, have that tension be right back up there still and resolve it at that level. But yeah, with these 2-minute movies, like, they basically do a minute of story and then a minute of cliffhanger, and then you come out to the next one. They normally ignore the cliffhanger. Yeah, we were building up that the sandwich might be poisoned. It wasn't. It was fine. It was just peanut butter. Don't worry about it. We just ate the sandwich. And they're so weird. So weird, but I can see them catching on, unfortunately. Maybe I should try and get in on the ground floor and start doing 2-minute plays. I don't think I could. I don't think I've got it in me to do it. Dear. Just don't think I've got it in me. Oh, man. All right. Well, I think I've waffled for long enough, right? Waffled for long enough about absolutely nothing. So yeah, I will be back Sunday. I don't know what we'll be playing. possibly Overwatch, possibly try and do a free person game of Cake Ball. I honestly don't know how that would work. I'm kind of interested to see if it would work at all. And then, yeah, we'll try and keep streams going next week. Let's say next week that the mornings are going to be just as bad as this week's were. So there's a possibility and they might even be worse. So I may have to skip a stream or two, but I'll let people know in Discord. Hopefully not. I'm hoping I can keep the schedule going. And then after that, things should relax a little bit. And we'll see what I'm going to concentrate on after that. There will be an update video coming out. I don't know if it's going to be this weekend or next weekend. Kind of talking about... It's probably going to be next weekend because I probably want to get through next week to kind of have a better idea of what the future is likely to hold stream-wise and YouTube-wise and how long I'm going to be able to keep on doing it for, which is kind of what this week has been about. So, yeah, that will probably come out next weekend rather than this weekend. But I do need to do that update video and kind of just letting people know just kind of like where I am with this and, realistically what would need to happen to be able to keep on doing it at this schedule, at this pace, and that kind of stuff. It's not going to be a fun update video, unfortunately. I want to get to a stage where I can do a fun update video, but we're not there yet. Fun is hard to come by these days. And then what else? I will try and finish off the city story this weekend, though. Try and get that done. And then I need to do a second update video about how the editing of Annabelle 2 is coming. I'm trying to do a chapter a day. I have been keeping to that so far. This is just the first edit. There's going to have to be a second edit of this before I put it out anywhere. Of the 5 chapters I've done, I would say I'm mainly happy with 2 of them. There are 2 others which are okay, but need a little bit more attention. And then there's one which just needs a complete rewrite. It's a bad chapter. It's not one I can get... Well, I say I can't get rid of the chapter. I probably will, but I can't get rid of the part of the story that chapter is telling. So I definitely need to go in and rewrite it. But for this initial edit of Annabelle 2, because I've changed my mind and I've taken it from 3 books and I'm putting it down into 1, and I've got a lot of content to work from. I got like I think it was ended up like 150,000 words, somewhere around there, which I'm not going to put into 1 book. So yeah, I'm condensing that down. Now, a lot of it was because for the original story, I kind of wrote it from 3 different perspectives and there were 3 different parts of the story happening at the same time. And I've kind of decided to take out Red Riding Hood's and the Big Bad Wolf stories out. A lot of the wolf stuff is going to go into hopefully what will be the serial that goes on to Patreon for kind of like case of the week type stuff. Haven't quite gotten down the kind of... That will be very formulaic. Like that will be very NCIS formulaic. That's kind of like the feeling I'm going for with the case of the week stuff over there. I haven't quite got that formula down yet. A lot of reasons for it to be formulaic. One, so it can be kind of fairly quick to put out. Not that I want to put it out quickly and bad. I want to put it out quickly and still good and entertaining. I need to iron out the characters of the 3 little pigs, of the deputies, because Big Bad Wolf is the sheriff and his 3 deputies are the 3 little pigs, because why wouldn't they be? So it's kind of like a lot of behind the scenes pre-production work that needs to happen on that before I can start putting that out. And I would like to get that out, if not on a weekly basis, on a fortnightly basis. but that's further down the line. And I would probably do an audio version of that, but again, I need to work on my audio recording skills and presentation. But again, other things I'm working on. But yeah, so with Annabelle 2, like I say, it's there's a lot of content that's kind of being passed down, and bits of the story that I know I have to rewrite. Little Red and Wolf will still make appearances, kind of where the story's crossed over. But I now have to kind of decide when I get to those stages, which I haven't yet. We're still very much in the initial Annabella's been kidnapped stage of the story as I'm editing it right now. But as we get to other bits, I kind of need to decide, okay, there is a lot that should have come through from the Little Red side of the story, right? And we're no longer bringing that with us. So how do I deliver that to the reader in a way that makes sense when I don't have these other characters kind of running around doing the stuff? I still think cutting it down is the way to go. I don't think the 3 books would stand very well by themselves. And I don't want to cut Annabelle 2 in such a way that it's kind of part 1, part 2, part 3, because they would all end on cliffhangers. And I just made you all know how I don't really like the cliffhanger. So I think this is still the way to go. But yeah, it's going to need a number of edits. Like the first edit is, okay, I've got an initial draft, but I'm now ripping that draft apart and turning it into something else. So this is essentially a second draft of a first draft to get the story together and make sense. And then there will have to be a kind of a big edit, and then a final, just can I catch any spelling mistakes and grammar errors kind of edit. I have no time frame on when Annabelle 2 is likely to come out. I would hope, well, we're April now, possibly getting out around June, July time would be nice. But again, that's all going to depend on also what happens with streaming and how much time we're going to have going forward. So kind of all wrapped up into one big bundle. What else do I need to talk about before I go and take a nap? What else have we worked? Cakeboard I've already covered. Annabelle 2 I've covered. I'm doing Serial. And yeah, trying to do a Sliders rewatch, because I think that would be fun. I'll probably, I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to watch the first episode of Sliders. I'll probably try a few different approaches to that. One of them I'm toying with is doing like a live rewatch over on Discord, just to kind of see what that would be like, and then trying to make a video from that at a later date. But again, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. And I guess the other big albatross hanging around my neck at the moment is the shed, and what the hell I'm going to do with that. The answer to that question right now is pass. I don't know. I still haven't managed to work up the desire to even go in and get rid of all the rubbish. I just can't find myself to do it. Every time I think about trying to do something in there, I just kind of like, I just want to walk away from this. But I need to do something with it, even if it's just empty it out and see if I can flip it. But I do need to do something with it. I don't know what that's going to be. And then, depending on how things look and depending on how things go, one of the other big things I would like to do is to create a more mobile-friendly streaming setup. So obviously keep this one for when we're doing all stuff in the office and all that kind of stuff. But there are a number of things I want to do kind of around and about that I would like to be able to do. One of them is Little Red Tractor needs a lot of work, and I kind of think that would be fun, just kind of casually stream that as I'm doing that. I don't know how much garden work I'm going to do this year just because of how I'm feeling about various things. But again, having a more kind of mobile friendly setup, being able to have one where I could set up just for easy smoking streams would be fun. And then if I do end up doing work in the shed, being able to kind of set that up there so I can kind of stream doing that as well. I think it would be interesting just to add a little bit of variety to what I'm putting out at the moment. Like I definitely going through one of those moments where I'm bored of just playing video games every day, and I do want to do other stuff. I just don't know what that other stuff looks like, and I probably will try to do more of these, just kind of talking about nonsense. I probably will try and do more working streams, like riding, whatever I'm working on at the moment, be it cakeball rules or I've been toying with the idea of trying, like, streaming myself, trying to learn Godot. Not too sure about that one. I would like, because it would definitely keep me on track, I would like to be able to stream myself doing the edits to Annabelle 2. Again, probably from what you would see on the stream side, it would probably just be my face. Maybe I could show the words, but kind of blurred out. Because, you don't want everybody knowing what's going on. The trouble is when I edit, I tend to think out loud. But again, that may not necessarily be a bad thing if I want to try and stream it going forward. Next week, what are we likely to see? Solasta 2, we have to finish that fight off that I kind of left halfway through yesterday. I was enjoying going through the temple. I guess we should make a jump back into Satisfactory so I can remind myself of what we were doing. I may look to see how long they think 1.2 is going to be on the test branch before it comes over to live. Because if it's not going to be that long, I might just start again, which isn't going to help with the bingo cards of trying to get Satisfactory done. But yeah, come at it with the idea that, yeah, okay, this really is the one that we try and get everything done and not worry about looks, make it messier than I have been recently, just to kind of get everything moving and out of the way and leave it on the server, let the server run overnight so we can make a backlog of stuff that we need rather than make it efficient. If I am going to make that decision, then I might start The Last Caretaker next week, because I do want to look at that. I want to see what that is about. And I believe they have just fairly recently released part 3 of that game. I don't know how the game works. I don't know how it works into parts. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. Decide we'll do a Satisfactory reset and then do The Last Caretaker next week. I also believe I've got some kind of cat detective game that I need to play through at some point. So maybe we'll do that next week as well. Just try and yeah, just try and put some more new stuff in. Diablo 3 stream might happen as well, honestly. See if we can get another character up to 70. I don't think we'll see another Ethereal ever again, but maybe at some point, maybe we will. But yeah, this is going to end up being a fairly short stream, chat. But I did somehow manage to talk for an hour and a half about absolutely nothing. So, that's something. That's something. Is it a lot? No, but it's something. Good old handsome Pete. And yeah, there probably will be more streams, kind of just like trying to think about what I want to do going forward, because I don't know what that is. And I want a big project. That's what I'm missing at the moment. I mean, Annabelle 2 is fairly big, but yeah, I kind of want a big project that I can share on stream, and it's trying to work out what that's going to be and how to present it, and then how to be disciplined enough to actually do it, and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I am at the moment. But yeah, like I said, I need to get through next week, see what comes back from that, and then we can have a very open and frank discussion about where I am and what I'm likely to be doing. But yes, before we do that, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Like I say, I will be back on Sunday. I don't know what we'll be playing, but we will be doing something. And yeah, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you all when I see you all. Bye for now.